Listen, I am a body neutrality, fat acceptance girly. And I will be the first person to say, whatever your journey is with your body, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, that is your own choices, and that it is not my job to police whatever you need to do to make your health better, your mental health, the way that you navigate the world. Now, what I don't accept is if you build an entire platform around creating a safe space for people to live in their own bodies, to find community, and then basically shit on that community in a way of which that you dox people, you harass them, you have literally blocked people for trying to ask questions around something that sadly maybe should have been clearer. Just a thought.
Not harassing, but what if the creator changed their views? She must be referring to Lizzo. What do you think?
Hey, this the number one lie fat people say. Bro, I don't even eat that much. Cap! I'm fat and I used to be fatter. I know that's a damn lie because I used to say the same shit.
I didn't realize until I counted calories I was shook.
People confuse excessive calories with low-volume foods.
Hi besties, I am the woman who doesn't love herself, but also doesn't hate herself. And if your first instinct is to reassure me that I should love myself, can I ask you why? What if loving yourself is just unattainable for some people? We live in a society that literally tells us not to love ourselves based on the way we look. And even the people that look like they love themselves don't. It seems like an insane amount of pressure. I'm tired of trying to force my way into a standard that was never meant for me in the first place. And I've hated myself for a lot longer than I'm learning to value myself. Where do we go from here? Are we dismantling the patriarchy? Stick it to the man. So for now, I'm the woman who doesn't love herself, doesn't hate herself, but is working on valuing and humanizing herself. I don't know what that looks like, but I'll be here. Okay, bye, love you, not me.
Can I ask, what about yourself don't you love?
Girl, you're literally my biggest idol.
Definitely your biggest.
We value ourselves when we prioritize our health. Why do you keep going on about this? Exactly. She needs to take action outside of TikTok.
Fact, we lived in Indonesia and they were brutally honest. One time in a store they straight up once said to my husband, "We don't make King Kong size here. Asia is not for beginners."
This guy literally comes up to me and he goes, "Wow, you are beautiful. Like, are you married? Do you want a boyfriend?" And I literally was like, "Yeah, I'm married." I literally lied. Like, what do you say in a situation like that? Like, I don't know. So it's just easier to be like, "Yeah, I'm married," because I'm telling you, in the past, I've been like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend." And like a guy will be like, "Oh, I could change your mind. Like, I'm better than a girl." And I'm just like, ew, like that's so gross. It was just a lot easier. I'm glad that he asked, like, "Are you married?" So I could just be like, "Yeah, I am." But thank you for the compliment.
Me making up scenarios before I fall asleep.
This totally happened, guys.
Delusion's final boss.
So she doesn't dream only about food?
Yeah, hello?
Oh, I just want to come and have a conversation with you. Obviously, you know we've just had Halloween. Well, my son came to your house and he was giving these very expensive chocolates, Ferrero Rochers, and I would like to say I'm a bit annoyed about them.
Beg your pardon?
He's 8. He came round here. He was very excited to receive these. I don't let him have all the chocolate because that's very unhealthy. I've just gone and opened these up to test them, and well, it's a Brussels sprout. One. I've opened up another.
Yeah, love, they're all Brussels sprouts.
What? Do you think this is funny?
Oh yeah, it's hilarious, love. Halloween is trick or treat. He can either get a treat or he got tricked.
He is 8 years old.
Yeah!
No, No, I don't see how this is funny. I am pissed off because my son is crying. He was very happy about these. These are his favourite chocolate, and you have just gone to go and sweep that for him.
Well, your son needs to eat some Brussels sprouts, love, doesn't he?
This is not funny.
It's hilarious.
How is this hilarious? He was expecting Ferrero Rochers, not this.
Well, yeah, well, it's better for him. It's better for him, you know.
They really are, all these.
Yeah, they're all Brussels sprouts. I should be giving a thank you, you know, because your son, yeah, your little pokey son, yeah, he's been going all around the houses, yeah, asking for sweets, yeah, and I gave him vegetables.
She's mad because she wanted the chocolate.
To test them, sure you were lol.
Hannah, you've lost weight. I'm so happy to see that you're finally looking after yourself and that you're showing yourself the love that you deserve. Well, you think this is coming from a place of love? Well, that's interesting, because let me just open my brain up for you so you can have a look inside. I'm doing this from a place of fucking hatred. I hate myself. And when you think about it, how could I not? When I think about the news stories of the constant blaming of fat people for the breakdown of medical systems, that the media portray fat people as lazy, slobs, unintelligent, delusional, unlovable. Public transport isn't built for people of size, and people recoil at the idea of being sat next to me. I was constantly told that I was not okay, and that led to a lot of self-hatred. And then my GP suggested I go on a replacement shake diet, which means I'm probably getting around, I don't know, maybe 1,000 calories a day. I actually don't know. So I'm losing weight really, really quickly. But all I'm doing is thinking about food all the time. And I'm in this really weird kind of space of who the fuck am I? Because I can't eat properly. I can't go out with my friends and eat dinner with them because I have to have this replacement shake diet because my number one goal has to be to lose weight. But I'm missing out on social occasions. I'm missing out on birthdays. But people keep telling me how good I look. It's very confusing. Wow, that's a lot. I hadn't really thought of it that way. But at least you'll be healthier, right? Well, let's talk about that. Now, I can't look into the future, but I really feel like my gallbladder is about to give out. And that's going to irreparably damage my digestive system to the point where I have chronic IBS, which means I cannot eat anything without shitting myself. I can't leave the house without wondering where the nearest bathroom is. I have legitimately shit myself because of this. And this is directly because of my extreme weight loss on that ridiculous replacement shake diet, okay? My relationship with food is warped. My relationship with myself is warped because when I was trying to shrink myself with starving myself, I was given all these compliments, but now I'm gaining the weight back. The compliments have stopped and I feel like I'm not worth anything in anyone's eyes anymore. So I'm trying to find a different way of learning to be at peace with myself. So when I really think about it, was the 2 years worth of weight loss really worth all of these years of eating disorder and mental health and physical health and body image issues? Yeah, no, I don't think it was. Oh, you've gained the weight back? Well, you need to just try another diet and get back on that horse. Fuck off.
The minute I stopped dieting, it made me realize that dieting was making me hate myself. It's awful.
The chronic IBS and gallbladder issues from a life of dieting and the non-alcoholic fatty liver from all the corn syrup in the shakes. No one talks about it. I am 48 and have all this.
But isn't there another way? Healthier way? Maybe? Just maybe? If not, here is another crazy thought. Very, very crazy thought. What if you eat what you eat, but eat less?
The destruction of this scale is dedicated to all of the women whose lives have been ruined and ruled by it. This is for us, ladies. Safety first. I'm tired of you stealing my life. I'm tired of you making me feel
Well,
like
at least it's good to finally see her working out.
how my day is.
That scale would probably break faster if you just stood on it. Huh? What?
Not again! Ah!
She could have just stepped on it. Looks like your life has been ruled by food, not that scale.
Let's end the video with some motivation.
Anything that you want in the world is possible. I literally used to weigh over 600 pounds and sat in a recliner for 20-something years of my life thinking that I was going to die miserable, alone, and unhappy. And I am in a massive Airbnb mansion on a lake, and I'm going to marry the love of my life. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm so blessed, and it's all because of my mindset, my commitment, my dedication, and my belief in myself and my power that I harnessed from within to transform my own life. And if I can do it, I swear to you, you can too. I'm gonna flip the camera so you guys can see this view. It's crazy.
I've been dreaming on in my head.
Keep it up. Stay fit and healthy.
Funny that you stitch my video, but you only stitch the part that fits your narrative that you want to create.
I clipped a part of your video to create my own narrative. Okay, let's see what narrative your page creates.
You're just a fat fucking bitch.
Shut up, bitch. You're fat. Having morning skinny and hitting my vape and getting nauseous and having diarrhea.
Your punishment is being fat. You're stuck in fat jail.
Why are you still fat?
Stop being a sad fucking lazy piece of fucking shit. You're fat. Before I come and beat the fucking shit out of you because you're fat. That's fine, you'll be fat this summer.
Not eating like a gluttonous pig. I woke up this morning feeling fat.
You're fat. I'm tired. I'm not gonna go. Okay, have fun being fucking fat this summer. Go to the fucking gym, you dumbass, and stop eating like a gluttonous pig.
Got off your fat ass. Health conditions, shut up. There's no health condition that's going to make you obese.
See, Jacqueline, this is not personal. I've had the pleasure of never coming across your account. However, my followers have. Your content, along with other women's content that are spewing this very hateful rhetoric about fat bodies, are not only impacting them, but society as a whole. We don't live in a vacuum, and eating disorders are the second deadliest mental illness behind opioid addiction. So this ain't no just scroll situation. Just because that is how you feel, and that might be how others feel, does not make it law. You said, for a fact, that you can't live happily, mentally, or physically in a fat body. From your mouth, you said they were lying. Like, can we get real? Can we get honest about what you're actually promoting? Because it isn't health. Somebody that's been in recovery for her own ED for years now, it is just so disheartening to see that you can spread such a hateful narrative and think that you don't have any blood on your hands. And you wondered why I brought up race? Look up the racial origins of fat phobia. Seek help and get a diary.
You were cropping again too much. Extremes cannot be healthy, but since fat activists can say whatever they want, anyone should.
The narrative is narrating.
But isn't she fat? Because I'm sure I'm no looking at a skinny girl.
The whole point of her videos is that she's talking to herself to motivate her.
Like the call is coming from inside the house and she can't even see it. She wanna be HRH collection so bad.
Okay, so wiping, okay, I'm so embarrassed, holy fuck. Wiping for me has always been extremely hard. How am I going to be able to wipe myself? Like, are you going to be able to do this for me? Like, I physically could not do it. Like, physically could not do it. And so Beck did it for me. Me not being able to wipe I was like, holy fuck, wait a minute. I like have lost the ability to like, I would say Beck wiped me for I would say a good 9 months. I know a lot of people are going to forever make this a meme. Moral of the story is it's my fault because of my size. People asking like, did Feline do that? No. Beck did it for those. Make it very, very clear that that is the only thing they helped me with. It was some water twice to like help wash myself because that was never once did I have them bathe me, shower me. I had a partner who wiped me for 9 months.
You could never waterboard this info out of me. You'd think not being able to wipe your own ass would be a wake-up call.
Hire a nurse? She had a caregiver named Beck, aka her girlfriend.
She always used to say she could do everything and it was fat-phobic to think otherwise.
She would rather have negative attention from admitting this than no attention at all.
People would rather potentially die from getting weight loss surgery than remain fat and have the repercussions of fat phobia thrust upon them. And a lot of people are talking about Remy right now because of the podcast episode with her and Chloe talking about her weight loss surgery. And I have something even more deep, I think, for us to discuss. I don't think anyone is surprised by any like plus size influencer getting weight loss surgery or doing Ozempic, whatever it might be, because we are in the
rebranding of heroin chic of the late 1990s and early 2000s. So it's not shocking. It still hurts a little bit, you know? And I think in the podcast, there was a lot of really intense discussions about like health as it ties to fatness. And I just want to be very clear that there are a lot of fat people who are perfectly healthy. And I want to be very clear again that health does not define your worth. There are people who are chronically ill who will never have a clean bill of health. And do they not deserve to live a life worth living without people shitting on them and without access to healthcare? Everyone is entitled to their privacy. Nobody owes anybody an explanation for anything. And when you have a large social media following and you are essentially showcasing your weight loss journey and showing people like how much weight you've lost, etc., maybe without saying it specifically, but still like you being there showing that, and like making people believe that like this just happened with like changing eating habits and like making better conscious decisions, makes people feel like they can do the same thing if they just do those choices. And it's important for us to disclose how and why you got here, right? Not that it was just like, I stopped drinking soda or I started eating more salads. Like, no, the truth is that like 80% of your stomach is gone. And a high percentage of weight lost from people who do weight loss surgeries is because they can't keep their food down. They suffer from constant nausea or constant purging of food because they cannot keep their food down. Protein does not get absorbed the same way. Your body doesn't store muscle in the same way. It essentially eats it. I've done numerous research studies on weight loss surgery. My mom had weight loss surgery in the early 2000s, and there are lots of complications that nobody wants to talk about, but we are more willing to be thin with lots of complications than to be fat and deal with the repercussions of anti-fatness.
But maybe it comes down to death or surgery.
As a woman who has lived in a fat body my entire life, there is a lot of side effects to being fat too.
Is high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes fat phobia?
Why do you want people to stay miserable and unhealthy?
You sound like Amberlynn Reed.
When you feel yourself getting full, stop eating. It's that simple. A lot of people stop eating once they're like full. If you stop eating like right before you start feeling full, it's more satisfying. Like, listen to your cues. It's actually not that simple. I like to think it is. I like to lie to myself and be like, Amberlynn, it's that simple. But, okay, let's take one more bite. Let's do a good bite, you know? A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's go. Wait. One more. I'm about to like hit that point where I'm like, oh. In the past, I could definitely probably eat about half more of this. Let's put it back in the container so I can have leftovers.
Just eat slower.
She's such a nutritionist.
I love delusionalin. She's my favorite Lynn.
Gluttony is an act of sin, so we must have control in everything. Cause if you don't have self-control and you want more, you get greedy, and that's where Satan intervene.
Remember, being fat is not morally a bad thing. Just because diet culture brainwashed you into thinking it was, doesn't make it true. Fat people are valuable human beings. If you don't think so, unlearn your fat phobia.
It's weird how you categorize fat people as valuable human beings only by being fat. Isn't that thinphobic of you? And where is the logic? Why is fat valuable? Why is the value connected to weight? How does the weight influence the value of a person?
Fat people are valuable human beings, yes, but as a fellow fat person, there is still class.
This is class.
I need to eat more often. I usually only eat 1 to 2 meals, like normal meals a day, and I feel like that's just not working for me anymore. I kind of want to start eating like 5 meals a day, like not meals per se, but like 5 times a day, whether they be snacks or meals, and not really have a rhyme or reason for any meal. Like, I don't really care about eating breakfast at breakfast. I don't really care about eating a snack for breakfast. I just eat when I want it. If I want breakfast at night, I'll have it then. If I want dinner in the morning, I'll have it then. And I know a lot of people question why I do that. I think it's mainly just because I want to eat when I want to eat and what I want to eat. I've been getting a lot hungrier by only eating once or twice a day with like random little snacks. It's just, and I feel like I'm also not choosing the right type of foods. I don't deprive myself, but I'm just not, I just need to tweak it a little bit more so I feel more satisfied.
In the words of Dr. Now, you've already eaten the food that belongs to the next 4 years.
I don't deprive myself. The only true thing she's ever said.
Scale doesn't lie. People lie. Dr. Now.
She talks like food is happening to her.
What in the Dr. Now is she talking about?
It's hard to explain why skinny talk is a right-wing pipeline, but I am going to try.
This is the first video in a while that made me angry. When I first came across it, I couldn't watch it till the end. It bothered me a lot, so I had to share the pain with you. Let's look at the comment. It's a right-wing pipeline. Hard to explain it, but that's what arises from this emphasis on shaming and accountability. The creator basically agrees and explains why skinny talk is a right-wing pipeline. What is skinny talk? Skinny talk is a community on TikTok and other platforms where creators, mostly women, are promoting extreme thinness. Indeed, it is a dangerous trend, but their advice is right on point.
You want to get skinny? This is how. Protein and fiber are your best friend because they will keep you fuller for longer, which means smaller possibility of snacking between meals. Get up and get active. Stop wasting your time sitting on your phone for full days scrolling through social media because it won't get you anywhere near your goal. So get up and get active. End your day with a green tea. It will help you a lot. It will keep you less bloated and it will help you with your night craving. Stop obsessing over food because food is not the center of your life. It shouldn't be. Food is just food.
But it is so ridiculous, and it blows my mind how our fat creator goes on this rant, trying to sound smart and justify her fatness using this as an excuse. She goes that far as blending politics and philosophy with fatness. Yes, politics and fatness. Let's start.
It's hard to explain why skinny talk is a right-wing pipeline, but I am going to try. Now, I've said for a long time that the ideology of fat phobia and body hierarchy is conservative in that, like, the logic that underpins it is very similar to the logic of modern conservatism. But it is definitely also a pipeline, and there are a bunch of reasons for this that I want to get into today. So let's start this discussion with Foucault, who, if you guys don't know, wrote this book called Discipline and Punish, and in it he talked about the panopticon, which is like the most popular theory from that book. But I actually want to discuss another thing he talks about in that book, which is the idea of the soldier body, or the disciplined body. And he basically makes this argument that, like, the soldier's body is disciplined by the state. You know, as a soldier, you have to be able to do this, you have to be in this shape, you have to look like this, you have to, like, literally have these measurements, and that is, like, the state deciding what your body can be. But if we're thinking about the panopticon, which, if you don't know, is basically just the idea that, like, surveillance or even the threat of surveillance is enough to make people fall in line, then we have to think about how you constantly have, like, society watching over you and judging your body. And this is, of course, especially the case for women. And
this first part is only so she could sound smart and well-read. She talks about Paul Michel Foucault, who was a French philosopher. Foucault's theories primarily address the relationships between power versus knowledge and liberty. In his book, he argues that prison did not become the principal form of punishment just because of the humanitarian concerns of reformists. This is irrelevant for what's to come next. Like our famous fat activist said,
"Why are you in my comments blaming the individual when it is so clearly the fault of our government?"
Let's continue.
Think about how you constantly have, like, society watching over you and judging your body, and this is, of course, especially the case for women. And while it is also an increasingly true that men have body standards forced on them as well, I think for women it is so primary because women's value in society for a long time was basically as, like, a bargaining chip for marriages. Like, it was about being attractive enough that the right man would pick you, and that's the only way you could advance yourself socioeconomically. And so for that reason, women are valued a lot of the time primarily as like ornaments. And then of course like baby makers, which presumably in the popular imagination requires them to be somewhat attractive so a man will want to sleep with them and make the baby.
This is so wrong. Attractiveness is attached to health. Of course, evolutionary, subconsciously we seek and choose partners by their health.
Women with obesity have double the risk of having an autistic child. Have rates of obesity been skyrocketing in our population? The answer is yes. Are pregnant women also in that camp of obese women? Yes. Well, that accounts for a doubling of autism.
Man will want to sleep with them and make the baby. There is this expectation placed on women that we, in order to be good women or real women, we have to be small, we have to be subservient, and we have to be servile. And skinniness exemplifies all of those things in the way that it is presented in our media and culture. We think of skinny women as being better women. We think of them as being more feminine. We think of them as being less, aggressive and rude. I think there's like a real connotation of rudeness, noncompliance, disorderly conduct with fatness, especially for women.
This is also so wrong. I can speak for most men, that on the contrary, men want strong women, physically strong and capable. I do agree about rudeness, but who wouldn't? I will try not to make so much cuts, but there is a lot I disagree with.
And of course, the antithesis of fat is thin. So a thin person is everything a fat person is not, because fat is the thin person's defining other, which is another concept we can get into in another video. But I think you kind of get the gist. Basically, in-group needs to define the out-group as the opposite of them. And that's exactly what skinny people have done with fat people. So by defining fat people as undisciplined, unruly, brash, blah, 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 and fat women as like not womanly, then we have the skinny woman in contrast who is like the good woman who adheres to the rules of society and femininity. And of course, these traditional gender roles are a key part of conservatism. Part of this too is the fact, and this is a fact, that trying to be skinny really hard makes your brain stop working and makes you physically weak. When you are skinny, even if you're strong, yeah, you have less power than like somebody who can put a lot of force behind their heavier body can put behind it. But also when you are trying to be skinny, essentially when you're not eating enough, your brain stops working. It becomes obsessed with food. You are dizzy all the time. You are tired all the time. You can barely put a sentence together.
Again, you cannot be more wrong. Have you heard of ketones? Wait, no, I will approach this the other way. There is a real connection between obesity and cognitive function, and it's not about shaming or oversimplifying. It's a fact that obese people have lower mental capacity. It has a lot to do with inflammation, hormonal changes, and how metabolism affects the brain. Insulin resistance limits how neurons use energy, giving you cognitive impairment.
Actually, when you're not eating enough, your brain stops working. It becomes obsessed with food. You are dizzy all the time. You are tired all the time. You can barely put a sentence together. So when your brain isn't working, that makes you a lot more convenient for the state. So they can put you in whatever servile type of role they want to. Or, even just think of yourself as like a cog in a machine. Like when the cog doesn't have as much capacity for resistance, strength, or even free thought, that really benefits the machine. So there is that aspect of it. The second thing that I really need to talk about regarding this is white supremacy. Because the way that we feel about fat people in our current culture is very much rooted in white supremacy. And that happened because when the slave trade was first going on in Europe, they basically were like, oh my God, there are all these other people here. We need to separate ourselves out from them in an aesthetic way to like sort of justify what we think of these people. And so they ascribed to those people, mainly Africans, the qualities of fatness, and therefore gluttony and sexual promiscuity. Stereotypes that still, to this day, are ascribed to Black people and to fat people. And
do you hear yourself? You basically said they ascribed fatness to fat people. Typical word salad. Let's hear it again.
They ascribed to those people, mainly Africans, the qualities of fatness, and therefore gluttony and sexual promiscuity. Stereotypes that still, to this day, are ascribed to Black people and to fat people. And when we think of the thin ideal, it's usually not super curvy in the way that is stereotypically associated with the bodies of Black women or Latino women. It's always like this like very dainty, very petite, very, very white ideal. Thinness and whiteness have also become conjoined in the culture to the point that becoming thin almost, and bear with me here, makes you more white. And that's why in immigrant communities, a lot of the times, like this is definitely the case with Jewish people, we go really hard on trying to make people thin and put a lot of pressure on people to be thin because being thin is a form of assimilation for us. Just as the beauty ideal is to have a small nose, the beauty ideal is to have a thin body. And those are both part of the stereotypical white supremacist aesthetic. This is why so many fascist regimes, they want to control people's bodies, and fitness is a huge part of often what they are like selling and what they're trying to get people to do. And that's partly because like you want an able-bodied army who can go to war, but it's also partly because of the discipline piece where you want people to fall in line and you want people to look this certain way as much as possible to prove their superiority. And then the final element of this is capitalism, because when you have this idea of some people are just better than others, it's a meritocracy. Work hard to succeed, and if you can't, then you deserve everything that comes to you or doesn't come to you because of that. You deserve the discrimination, you deserve the hate and bullying, whatever. Like, when you have that ideology about bodies, that's the same as how conservatives think about poor people. It's why people say you should just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Were you born into poverty? Well, you just need to work extra hard to get out. There's no disadvantage. There's only like who works the hardest. Life is fair. That's like all of that same stuff as bodies, right? Because you can be born with genetics that are more likely to make you fat, and the attitude is just overcome it. Just work hard enough that you overcome those genetics or those factors that are working against you, or that PCOS or whatever it is. And that's why you have the shaming and the accountability, and like we want everyone to look the same, and if you don't look like that, it's your fault and we are going to hold you to account. It's a very brutal and cutthroat ideology, and I really hate it. And I feel that that is what conservatism is based on financially. That is what fiscal conservatism is. And I think fat phobia is just kind of like an outgrowth of that.
Why make it this complicated? If we do say that fat phobia is a thing, it is a fear of becoming fat, which is a completely normal thing. Fear of becoming unhealthy, fear of diseases, fear of immobility, fear of death. As simple as that.
So, to fall down this pipeline, if you're looking at skinny talk, which by the way is just a pipeline to an eating disorder, duh. Let's not pretend it's not an eating disorder. It's an eating disorder. But if you're going in with that mentality, and by the way, you might have an eating disorder. Yeah, that's not totally in your control maybe, but the ideology of an eating disorder is fucking brutal. It's cutthroat, it's capitalist, it's like knock them down, it's like social Darwinism, basically. Like, it's not a kind mentality. And that mentality is, of course, work harder to be better, and if you aren't better, then it's because you're a bad person. Better meaning senior. And it's so easy to apply that right to how you feel about poor people or homeless people or people of color who haven't like had as many advantages in like housing or jobs or whatever area of society. And that is how you get pipelined right into these conservative beliefs, because it's a very cohesive ideology to be fat phobic and to believe those same exact things, but just about, you know, poor people or disabled people or anyone who's like disenfranchised in some way.
I get that she is jealous of thin people, but I don't get the need to justify her fatness to us. Why go all this way? The topic was skinny talk, but you made all of this about how fat people are oppressed. And on the other hand, what angers me the most is shitting on thin people. Feel free to preach fat, but don't do it while abusing thin people's point of view. Tell your lies that you can be fat and healthy, but leave fit people out of your delusions.
Skinny is perceived as disciplined.
Yep, easier to control physically and mentally if you're malnourished and fatigued and beaten down.
Literally anything to avoid taking accountability.
Also, the most popular woman on Skinny Talk is Black.
People think I'm obsessed with this, but I'm okay with it. I am obsessed with it. And I think this is an obsession that...
I don't care about men's opinions of me. I literally prefer to be skinny for myself.
What do you get out of being skinny?
Stop. Fat and thin isn't about politics. Everyone should take responsibility for their own choices. Period.
I have conflicted thoughts about this, especially number 3. One of the biggest industries is fast food industry, and it capitalizes on food addictions. The capital wants you fat, not other way around.
Diet culture is another sign of poor and bad economy because the last one happened in 2008, the latest recession. It's been happening for a while.
How'd I ethically get skinny?
Why would you want to be skinny? It is bad for your body.
I don't care about how people look, skinny or fat. I'm pro-health. We can't have revolution if our people are short of breath after climbing some stairs.
Have you been dying to ride the parking lot tram at Disney World, but you weren't sure if you'd fit? Hey everyone, we're plus-size park hoppers, and we range in sizes from 2X to 5X. Make sure you like this video and follow us for more plus-size Disney tips and tricks. The parking lot tram may not be the most exciting ride of the day, but it's definitely a useful one. Especially if you don't want to get all of your steps in before you even get to the park entrance. The parking lot tram will pick you up near where you parked your car and bring you to the front of the park or to the TTC. One thing to note is that there is one row that has a bigger entrance than the other. This row actually has 2 rows of seating, and the wider entrance makes it easier to board if you have wider hips. There is a large step up to get into the tram, followed by a smaller step. This row is also easier to board when traveling with a wheelchair or stroller. Those items need to be folded up and brought on the tram with you. We find the trams to be comfortable and so convenient after a long day in the park. And the cast members on the back of the trams are the funniest. It's like the Jungle Cruise of the parking lot. When disembarking, take your time and watch your head. Also, don't forget to use the car locator feature in the My Disney Experience app. We learned that the hard way. We hope that these tips help and that you enjoy your ride.
What were the tips? How to avoid walking?
Again, how is this not a wake-up call?
Maybe walking would be beneficial?
All of your steps in, as if you have a daily limit.
Walking wouldn't hurt.
The stairs are their enemies.
Excuse me? Do you guys want one shake or pass it on to the next person and double it?
Double.
Do you want 2 shakes or we'll pass it on to the next person and double it?
What'd you put in them?
Bro, this is M&M and this is matcha.
That one looks good, but I think you should double it right to the next person, and
Alright.
Trying to slim her down, bud.
Take 4 shakes or pass it on to the next person and double it.
Take 4.
Bro wanted to end the challenge.
She didn't even look at him.
She really said, like she was thinking about it.
I have traveled to 45 countries and counting, and I just want to remind anyone listening to this that plus-size people exist in every single one of those countries. Just want to let you know.
I understand that you are replying to the comment, but what are you trying to justify? Your weight?
According to you fatphobes, there is a fat pandemic and 80% of people are fat, so what is the normal?
If the commenter was right, there wouldn't be beautiful artwork from the beginning of time to now depicting women of all shapes and sizes. Not to mention there's no data supporting that claim.
This was my first time to see bigger people. There are not many big people in Japan because a lot of Japanese people are very disciplined. We believe that harmony is very important. So if you are too big and then you stand out too much, and then they kind of destroy the harmony in the society in a way.
Oh, really? So image is massively important here.
Yeah, I think so.
Because in Japan, children learn how to eat properly with balance in elementary schools.
Being fat is unhealthy. Who cares what any culture says? Supporting a deeply unhealthy lifestyle is the American way.
Fat people are more disciplined. Just imagine how much and how many times they have to shove down food.
Have you ever heard of the phrase lipstick on a pig? It's an insult reserved for fat people who dare to wear makeup. I purposely didn't wear makeup because I didn't want to be accused of being the aforementioned pig. I didn't want anyone to think that I thought of myself as normal or, God forbid, pretty, so I would just sit and watch my friends as they got ready for nights out together. That is until I started to recognize my worth and an ego grew and I started to see makeup for what it is, which is fun and expressive and creative. So if you ever look at me and think lipstick on a pig, well, oink oink bitch.
I interpret the phrase as fat people should focus on other things. You cannot mask everything. And how come you cherry-pick beauty standards?
It means changing the appearance of something doesn't change the fundamental failings, flaws. It is used against fats as people see being fat as a flaw, but it's not the original meaning.
I learned about this phrase a couple weeks ago, and now every time I do my makeup, I think about it. I hate the internet for adding a new insecurity to my list.
I'm not fat. I'm just a few meals ahead and a few shits behind. Y'all always assuming that a bitch big. Wrong. I once saw a chef that said where there is fat, there is flavor. I'm not actually fat. This is flavor throughout my body. Y'all get on here and be so mad. Y'all be hot like, get in the gym. Get out of the kitchen. Why are you where I'm at? If you're at all the places that I'm at, bitch, you're fat too. Your little fat dude is just locked on the inside. Mine just decided to show himself a little early. Technically, you're just a prepubescent fat ass.
As a professional hater, I cannot say anything here. She won.
Meet all the people who make YouTube videos about me for no reason other than hate and fat phobia. Can y'all go report them? That'd be great.
I don't want anyone coming up from behind me or the side of me trying to take my orange chicken. It happens a lot, and I just don't like it. I don't like when people reach across the table and try to take it. Sometimes I have strangers coming up for me trying to take it, so I try to eat it as fast as I can because it's mine. The orange chicken is mine. If I'm the one paying for it, it's mine. Don't touch it, honey. So, Cheesecake Factory. So I'm super excited. You guys are gonna look at it and just be like, it looks amazing. And honestly, it's never looked better. Oh, I'm so excited. So just please don't freak out because you're jealous you're not eating the orange chicken with me. But you can always eat it too. Just if you have Uber Eats, or you can drive to the closest Cheesecake Factory. Don't go to no Panda Express. Don't go to your local Chinese buffet. No, don't do that. The orange chicken at the Cheesecake Factory is the way to go. So.
TF? Who were these strangers coming for her orange chicken?
I mean, the sheer size of her. Someone coming up from behind could be walking quite a bit of distance away.
Buffett.
Dating as a plus-size person in this generation is extremely difficult. Yes, I'm on the dating apps, the forbidden apps. And most of the time it's, oh, we talk for a little bit, or it's just straight to, you trying to smash. Or the usual comment, come sit on my face. I want that slow burn shit. Like, let's not rush to date. Let's enjoy each other's time and company. Hell, start out as friends first and then see if dating happens. There's no reason to rush into it. That's how things go south. Girl just wants flowers. I'm so sick of people just seeing me for my body and not for who I am. That's what sucks about being a lover girl, is because I have so much love to give and so much energy to give to other people, but I get burnt out so easily because I give my love and my energy into the wrong person. To the people who don't fucking deserve my love. And that's one of the main reasons why I stopped dating, is because I cannot deal with this. You trying to smash? You trying to smash? I can't be seen with a big girl in public.
How is this specific to fat people? I don't get it. Where is the plus size in this?
For real, been offered sugar scam more times than matched. Seriously thinking about switching teams.
Dating in general is difficult. Then add the plus size issue to it, it makes it near impossible.
Beauty Queen versus Burger King.
She swallowed the crown. And the judges.
He must be the son of the local cartel boss.
The funny thing is, you would judge. It's kind of like when you are plus size and not palatable. You're kind of screwed either way. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But really, this experience was one of the best of my life. And it was totally unplanned. I was on a group trip, which was so much fun. I think I'm going to do it again this year. And the group had gone to the beach that we were with, and me and my friend Melissa stayed back because it's like a little family-owned place. I had a beautiful villa with my own private pool. So, like, of course, we were going to stay back. And we were having breakfast. We were the only people there, like at the resort, because our group had mostly booked out all of the rooms, not the resort, the hotel. And so we see the family prepping, and they have all these tomatoes out, and they've been out for like 2 days now that we've been at the hotel. And we noticed these tomatoes were out in the sun, and we had asked them, and they said, oh, well, every year, twice a year, me and my family make tomato sauce just like we've been doing for ages. Do you want to join us? And we said yes, and they let us join them, and it was such a magical, beautiful experience. So that's what I see when I see this photo. But thank you for the advice.
Just focus on health, not what people would think. And what is with the story? How is this relevant?
She likes being her size. She's the first plus-size supermodel. Why do people forget that?
I mean, they judge Lizzo, and they were making fun of her before, so. Evidence much.
It's not even taste pleasure at this point, it's literally consume most amount of calories as possible.
I can't hit my protein. Moment.
I'm gonna starve myself to get this out of my head, geez.
For all you bitches who are mad that I lost weight, I gained 5 pounds, I did it for you. I did it for you. And I also did it because I don't give a fuck. I'm happy. I do what I want. I am still a big bitch.
Why would y'all be mad she got healthy? She was healthy from the start, WDYM?
Lizzo is not an icon for body positivity, and her recent weight loss proves it. At least according to one journalist. But she is an icon for another movement, which is debatably more important than body positivity. Let me catch you up. Lizzo posted this photo. Everyone's gone mad. They're like, wow, this girl's lost weight. And it's resulted in some strong opinions. I mean, she posted this on Halloween. Who else can simultaneously get Ozempic allegations and fat-shamed on the same platform? All because people were accusing her of lying about her dieting and exercising and instead using Ozempic to lose weight. If you've seen Lizzo's workout videos, you know that this girl puts in the hard yards. So it's only fair to assume she has just as much dedication to her meal plan.
We're thrown into this messy zone where a woman just making choices about her own body somehow turns into her betraying a whole movement. People might sound chill or supportive on the surface, but the vibe underneath is kinda brutal. If Lizzo doesn't stay visibly plus size, suddenly she's not allowed to represent body positivity anymore. Which is wild, considering she never asked to be the poster girl for it in the first place.
And according to one journalist, we should be taking notes. So Tanya Sweeney, a writer for the Irish Independent, published an opinion piece. It's like a month old now, but super relevant considering how topical Lizzo is today. So Tanya's title for her piece is Lizzo's Fine Both Ways attitude to her body and weight loss is a step in the right direction. And her entire article is all about being neutral with our bodies. Something she says Lizzo is doing very well. So she starts off by quoting a New York Times article that Lizzo did earlier in the year. where she said losing weight is the slowest thing in the world and you don't really notice it until you notice it. But that doesn't matter. I'm super proud of my current lifestyle. So the whole article is centered around this one TikTok that Lizzo posted using a Nicki Minaj audio, where Nicki raps, "The fact you would even discuss my looks is insane." And Lizzo captioned her post, "Fine both ways." As in, people had started to notice her weight loss and Lizzo wanted to point out, "I look great at any size." Or rather, she feels great at any size. So Tanya says in her article, this is an exact example of when a person strives to take a neutral stance over their physical appearance. And she says it's quite different to body positivity. She says body neutrality is encouraging people not to invest too much headspace or energy in thinking about what they look like, whether good or bad. Basically, it's an easier and more realistic way to feel at peace with your body. As we all know, Lizzo has been a big part of the body positivity movement. But Tanya says, I wonder if this was a label forced on her by others rather than something that came from within. She also says, it's a bit of a shame that people are talking about Lizzo's weight loss rather than her approach to it. And then references Adele and Rebel Wilson's weight loss and how the talk around that eventually died down. So she's confident that the chat around Lizzo will do the same. The article concludes by saying that some may have felt like the body positivity movement lost an icon when Lizzo stepped on that treadmill. But to her, Lizzo's body neutrality still feels like a major win and a step in the right direction. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.
Lizzo is vegan, and she posts about her fitness journey a ton. She's got a whole fitness, athletic brand. She's dedicated. She probably worked really hard for it.
Being fat is not body positivity. It's unhealthy. Lizzo, however, is promoting body positivity because she's accepting herself while trying to get healthier.
Have we forgotten that Lizzo is a terrible human being?
Lizzo's greatest talent is being completely unlikable. There's nothing she can do to hide the fact that she's terrible. She used to blame all the hate she got on being fat. Everyone hates me because I'm fat. Well, now you're skinny. You're on the Ozempic, which, they all abandon body positivity the first second that they get. Have you noticed that? Anywho, she did a podcast. She called Britney Spears a Janet Jackson impersonator, and basically said that, Britney Spears is not the queen of pop. Here's the thing. Britney Spears herself on many, many occasions has talked about how inspired she was by Janet Jackson. She even said it to Janet Jackson's face. To go after Britney Spears in this fashion, when you really should be happy that anybody's giving you airtime at all after Bananagate and everything else, it's on par for what we should expect from Lizzo. Because she's so incredibly unlikable. It's like, listen, pipe down, be quiet for a minute, don't go on any podcast. This woman, the team needs to sit her down and be like, listen, you gotta be quiet. Put out one good record, maybe people will forgive you. Doubtful, but anything's possible. This quote is telling. People, this is from Lizzo, people now will just believe anything bad about you because there's something about being a famous person that it's almost like people want to believe that you're a bad person and they can't believe that you're actually boring and chill and nice. Boring maybe, chill and nice, I don't think so. Also, you guys all do seem like bad people. Studies show, the evidence shows that a lot of you are bad people, especially when your employees come out and sue you and lay it all out there for everyone. And by the way, in December, it said that the lawsuit had been thrown out, but they just can't sue Lizzo as an individual. The case against the touring company, Big Girl, Big Touring, remains ongoing, all right?
The body positivity was the reason she got popular in the first place. What's left?
Is Lizzo still relevant? Serious question. I don't know or have heard any new music from her.
The weight that is no longer on me is not just fat or physical. I released so much to get to this point. And I think people can see that. And I don't want to describe anything as loss. I'm not experiencing any loss. I've actually gained so much. I've gained a sense of self. I gained a lifestyle that I actually really love. I've gained new perspectives on nutrition and the science behind cardio or weightlifting. Like it's exciting to me. People aren't going to understand this right now, but it's the most body positive way to experience what I'm going through. I don't think I want to lose anything. I think I want to win. I think I want to gain.
Sorry, but Lizzo is the same person who gaslit the world that she was happy being a bigger woman. But deep down she hated her body. Now she is her best self being smaller, lol.
God bless Ozempic.
But she used to say I love being huge.
Change is not something to fear. It's proof that you're alive, growing, and moving forward. Every step you take to improve yourself is a step toward becoming the strongest version of you. Life will never stand still, and neither should you. Evolution is the name of the game, and those who rise are the ones who embrace it. You were never meant to stay the same, you're built for more, and your journey has only just begun.
I was gonna get like a side salad so I can get full off of that. They don't have salads there. The only healthy thing was the roasted wings, and that's what I was looking forward to, but they didn't have them. You think that they'd have maybe vegetables. They do. They have green beans, I think, but they're made in like butter and everything else. If you're gonna eat unhealthy, pick and choose your unhealthy. I'd rather not have green beans smothered in butter. I'd rather have a couple of these wings. Oh! This is definitely a lot left over. I got a lot, so it was pleasing to look at. If I would have just got 3 wings and I was like, okay, let's eat together, it just wouldn't have looked as pleasing as so many. Plus I'll have leftovers, like, see, this is leftovers, isn't that great, but I might eat a couple later. I don't know, honestly. But yeah, that was good. I'm actually full.
I feel weird making a commentary, 'cause I still don't understand her, if all of her is a big try of satire, if it's sarcasm, if it's just for views, or she is really this way. However, this is a very long way to go to justify your actions.
Veggies make her nervous, guys.
So fried wings is healthier than buttered green beans?
Cooking your food makes you aware of the ingredients.
I'm not on a mattress, I'm on a fucking couch!
And even back then when you were bedridden, she was still getting up and going to the bathroom by herself. So
I wasn't.
There was never not a time where you could not move on your own. Is what I'm saying.
I'm not bedridden.
Becky always accidentally exposing her lol. She went up to go to the bathroom by herself. Does she want a gold star for basic human function?
What? I ordered an exercise bike. And they gave me a couch.
Majority of everything I eat, 99.9999% of what I eat is okayed by my dietitian. They want me to eat what I want, when I want, what I'm craving. I have started to count calories. I'm not supposed to. I mean, it's not recommended. I ordered this from McDonald's and I also got a Diet Coke.
This may be a valid advice in rare cases, but intuitive eating is for sure not for obese individuals.
Take they licenses if they saying that.
A Coke to wash down the Sprite.
I don't want you guys to think I'm over here like gaining weight and stuff. That's definitely not it, because I'm not trying to gain weight. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to maintain. I'm trying to lose. Here are my cheese fries. Ooh, that's good. I've been back to drinking caffeine lately. This is like literally the best way. Not all success is visual. Not all success is noticeable.
Not all, but weight loss is.
Success is often not success.
I'm really nervous because this is so random. It's like a little cucumber boat. What ties it all together is the bacon.
Here is a random fact. You won't feel hungry if you avoid ultra-processed foods. Eat fruits, vegetables, eggs, meat and fish as much as you want and your hormones and gut microbiome would heal.
Of course it's the bacon that tied it all together.
I'm hearing, the only thing I like is the bacon. Why she always nervous when she eats? She jumped before she even looked at it.
Don't spit. There, you don't know how to
I'm very late to the tea.
Me when someone tells me tea, I already know.
Hi, this is your friendly reminder that you're not a bad person for being fat. There's nothing wrong with it. You can be who you are and you can be a fat person and you can live a full, fulfilling life while being fat. You do not have to lose weight in order to live a full life.
That is what you would want. People not losing weight, because it is so fulfilling if you cannot climb a pair of stairs.
I'm just a shit person who happens to be fat.
I accept, it's gonna probably be a bit shorter life, but honestly, kebabs are fucking worth it.
99, 100. You don't get a body like this sitting on the couch. Go to the freaking gym!
Don't eat the gym.
Just because they're called plates doesn't mean you eat them.
I can vividly remember the first time I went on my weight loss journey. I was about 10 years old, and I had just waddled in to Weight Watchers with my mom. During that time, I was very tall for a 10-year-old, but I was bigger. I was also an athlete as well. I did competitive swimming. I was a hungry girl. And I remember going into Weight Watchers, I was criticized if I had gained a pound in a week really badly. Like, my mom would be so disappointed in me. The people there would be disappointed in me. I wouldn't get, like, my sticker that I would get every week. And it was tough. I was 10 years old. And it doesn't help that the people there and all the adults that were, like, in their 40s and 30s doing this, and here's me, a 10-year-old, with my mom because I needed a guardian, listening on these nutrition lessons that they gave back then. I remember having this little book that I used to carry around with me at school, too. Can you imagine what that does to a 10-year-old's mental health? That made me spiral, and I've been struggling with an eating disorder for the rest of my life. And I still struggle with it to this day as a 24-year-old, 14 years later. I wish I can go back in time and apologize to that girl, because I did not need to hear that. There were women there who would tell me, yeah, you could drop 3 to 5 pounds in a week. And that's how it all started.
No, no, no. You cannot blame this event for your weight. No way. No way you would go this way to justify your obesity. So you want to say that if this didn't happen you wouldn't be fat? But you already were, as you said. So what changed? Nothing. But something would have changed otherwise? The accountability. We all have some bad memories but need to eventually grow up.
Also, take everything you're learning about your ED to heart now. I didn't learn until 36. And I think these last 3 years are the first 3 I've been able to fully leave.
Husband said I can eat a piece of cake if it fits on this tiny plate, okay? Okay, guys? I got my cake, guys. Baby.
You can make a tower, just saying.
That plate just hit a new PR.
Hey, I really like this outfit and I'm going to post it on social media. Hey Hannah, I don't like this outfit. Okay. Yeah, it's ugly, it's unflattering, you look bigger than what I think you are. Disgusting, I would never wear this. And actually, I think it's weird that you're encouraging other people to dress like this when it's so unflattering. And actually, you just existing is like, I don't know, encouraging people to be fat. It's like glamorizing obesity. You should be ashamed of yourself, actually. It's just an outfit. And I just happen to exist in a larger body. There is no glamorization or encouragement from me to anyone to look like me. I'm just showing how people my size can also be fashionable And also, fashion is subjective, it is a taste. You may not like it, but it doesn't mean that it is bad or objectively bad. That is just your opinion. Well, if you didn't want different opinions, then you shouldn't have posted on social media. I'm entitled to give you my opinion. No, you're not. You're not entitled to give me your opinion. That's not a thing. You're entitled to have it, but you are not entitled to share it. Learn the difference. You're hiding behind that phrase just so you can be a cunt. Goodbye.
But you are not just existing. All you do is talk about fat phobia.
These people must be so insecure because no one who is happy with themselves would ever say this LMAO.
Oh, the horror of looking bigger than you actually are. Maybe I just want to wear the cute outfit, Karen.
You guys know how I use a scooter in the stores? This is like so embarrassing. I could like die from this. So we were at Target last night and my scooter died. My scooter literally died and we were way in the Christmas area, so that's way in the back. I'm like, okay, interesting. What am I gonna do? I mean, I can walk. I just can't walk for more than 10 minutes. So I ended up getting out of the scooter, taking Becky's cart, and I was waiting for her. And I think it was up most about 5 or 6 minutes and I couldn't breathe. My back was hurting. It was just kind of felt like I stood up, you know, and I was holding like all this weight on me and it just kept getting harder and harder and harder to hold. So that's a situation that truly did happen. Because a lot of people are like, you can walk in the store, you don't need a scooter. I do. I've gotten to the point where I need a scooter and that's pathetic.
How was this not a reality check for her?
Trying to tell the story between bites.
I mean, you need to eat to survive.
Dieting is not correlated with weight loss.
Well, yeah, fat's a choice. Fat consequences. Woo!
You need to lose weight. You'd be so pretty if you lost weight. No.
I need you to start wrapping your head around the idea that people can pursue fitness without a weight loss goal.
I'm fat because I drink too much red wine and I don't exercise enough.
That's not true. You're not fat because of what you eat and how much exercise you do.
If you think fat people talk about weight a lot, then you haven't been around or lived with people who are fat phobic.
Body positivity wouldn't exist as we know it today if it weren't for fat liberationists, if it weren't for the work of queer, fat, disabled, Black activists.
Fat acceptance, the only movement that requires no movement at all.
For the millionth fucking time, existing as a fat person is not promoting obesity. Loving your body and being confident about your body is also not promoting obesity. So fuck off, bitch.